it's Vesper Starwolf here with another video, and this is B, my shiny Vaporeon plushie. She's named after Beatrice from Night in the Woods, because I was obsessed with that game when I got her. She's so big and huggable. And today, I'm going to tell you guys how I became a furry. And you might be wondering what a shiny Vaporeon has to do with this topic, but I'm gonna get into that. So, I just want to start off by saying that I was always the animal kid. Like, I grew up watching Animal Planet for fun. Like, I thought it was the bee's knees. I loved nature documentaries and all that good stuff. And you know, I was the kid that, like, whenever we played house, I was like, I must be the dog or the cat. I think I was a cat person. Like, I was like, I have to be the cat. That's my job. I am a cat. And even at home, playing by myself, because we kind of lived out in the middle of nowhere with all my stuffed animals, you know, I would always just be like, yes, I'm a cat, or I'm a dinosaur, or a dragon, or something like that. And for every year for Halloween, I would only dress up as an animal. I refused to be anything else for Halloween. So, it was kind of like destiny. And the funniest thing is, even as a kid, I would be like, man, I wish there were full body animal costumes, much like a fursuit, but I didn't know what a fursuit was back then. And I just thought it was this impossible thing that I thought would be super cool, but like, never in a million years would I think that it was actually a thing. So anyway, you know, I didn't use the internet a lot until like my brother moved out, because he would always, back in the day, the internet was hooked up to the phone line and only one person could use it at a time. So I never really got to use the internet that much. Occasionally I would get on like Neopets or Club Penguin and I would play those games. Once he got older and got like a job and started hanging out with friends more, I was able to use the internet a lot more often. So, young me, when I was a wee lass, I spent all my time like just Googling stuff about stuff I liked. So, because back then, you had to search for information if you wanted it. You just didn't know it. One day, I forget how, but I discovered that shiny Pokemon were a thing. I had never gotten one myself in-game, but when I was Googling something, or I was online, and I stumbled upon people talking about shiny Pokemon. And I was like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing. I didn't know this existed. It just never clicked that some Pokemon were just shiny. You know, I never played Pokemon Silver, because my brother had the older games and he wouldn't really let me, he never let me play Silver. It was like, he let me play Blue, but not Silver. So I didn't know the red Gyarados was a thing, and I didn't realize in the Pokemon anime that Ash's Noctowl was shiny either. It just never registered. So I found out shiny Pokemon were a thing. I got super excited and I started Googling all different kinds of shiny Pokemon to see what they looked like. And of course, Eevee and its evolutions are my favorite Pokemon. So I looked up to see what all the shiny evolutions looked like, and I came upon shiny Vaporeon. And I just thought it was the cutest thing, because just look at it. It's freaking pink. It's just pink and purpley, and I just really like the color pink. So I was like, oh my gosh, I want one. When I found the shiny Vaporeon, I found a homemade plushie someone had made. So I went to their page, and it was a DeviantART account page. So I went and I looked through all their stuff, and they made plushies, and I don't think they're active anymore. They kind of just vanished on the internet, so it's unfortunate. But I looked through their stuff. They had all sorts of kinds of plushies, and then, this is a long story, by the way. I see they had these plushies of these wolves, and at the time, you know, I liked wolves. They weren't like my favorite animal, but I always loved them. And these wolf characters were from something called Wolfsrain. And I'd never heard of it, so I got interested in it. I went onto YouTube, and back then, when you watched anime, you watched it on like 3 different parts on YouTube, and it took like 5 hours for a single video to load. But I started watching it, so here's volume 1. I have all the volumes. As you can see, I absolutely loved the anime. It also made me a weeb, so that's a whole other thing though. But, you know, I didn't like watching them in parts on YouTube, so I slowly started buying the volumes on Amazon. Slowly, so it was very, I was like, I have to see what happens next. Luckily, it's only like a 30 episode anime, so it's rather short. Anyway, I got super into Wolfsrain. I started looking into it. I ended up on fanfiction.net, reading and writing fanfiction, and I met a couple people through the Wolfsrain fanfiction. I noticed they had DeviantArt accounts, which I remembered is where I first discovered Wolfsrain. So I finally went ahead and made an account. And the funniest thing is the people I met through the Wolfsrain fandom are still really good friends of mine. So you never know who you might meet through a fandom and who might just be a friend for life. So yeah, I joined up, started posting my own drawings, because I've always drawn and wrote and stuff. Animals, of course, because I could never draw people until recently. And I've always actually drawn myself as an animal since I couldn't draw people. So that was just like natural for me. You know, I had a lot of Wolfsrain OCs and my own little stories. And I kept seeing people throw the term fursona around, so I just kind of eventually adopted it. But I still wasn't quite sure. I think eventually I did hear like the term furry, but it was always in a bit of a negative light and I didn't know what it was. And then one day, someone I watch on DeviantArt posted a picture of a realistic wolf mask that they had made, and my mind was blown. I was like, oh my god, that's the most amazing thing I had ever seen. And it was like $500, but I was like, I went up to my mom. I was like, look at this amazing thing, it's like so much money. And I was like, I really want one day. And she's like, that's cool. So as you see, I never had one of those like came out as a furry moments, because it was kind of just like the natural progressive step. Everyone knew how much I loved animals anyway and liked dressing up as them. So like having like this, it's not even like a big deal. Like literally my Facebook, like my average everyday Facebook, I just post up like my fursuiting pictures and stuff from cons, and everyone's like, I'm glad you're having fun. It's funny because for the longest time, even though I was like this, I wouldn't call myself a furry, because even today I don't really like labeling things. you know, I just like dressing up as an animal, and I like animals. For a little bit, I was that person that's like, I'm not a furry, but I would definitely buy and wear a $1,000 fursuit. I think it was like in high school, I was eventually like, who cares? I'm a furry. The interesting about my high school, I graduated like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago? I don't know. 6 or 7 years ago, maybe. High school was a different thing back then, I assume. Like, I could go up to someone and be like, yeah, I'm a furry. I mean, I didn't, unless they, like, asked, or it came up, you know. But you could be like, yeah, I'm a furry, and they'd just be like, what the hell is that? I don't know what a furry is. Like, literally no one knew what it was at my school. I feel like now they probably do because the internet is a lot bigger. But, like, I lived in the South. No one used the internet back when I went to high school. It wasn't even like a big deal or anything. And it still isn't a big deal. That's why when I see people like freaking out about, oh my god, you're a furry, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Is it weird? Yes, but I'm a weird person. I don't care. I write books that are just about demon mushrooms and shit. Do you think I care? If you think this is weird, you think this is weird, never talk to me or my son again. Anyway, that's how I became a furry. I know it's kind of anticlimactic, but it's everyone's journey. Everyone's path is their own. And, this is kind of like a part 1 video. Part 2, I'm gonna talk about how I got this beautiful bean. So that's a whole other thing on its own. So, yeah, that's my story of my furry journey. Tell me how you became a furry down in the comments if you want to. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!